Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. It is Thursday, March 5th. This is the review for quiz number 3. I shared the review guide with you earlier today. I'm going through the questions one by one. Please, as always, if you have any questions, email me. I'll be happy to respond and I'll do it quickly. Question number 1. What were Elizabethan actors called masterless men? Why? Because before acting companies were allowed to actually form and operate as a company, there was no leadership. If you remember the structure of the guild, at the head of the guild, there was always a master, and that was the person who owned the business, the man who owned the business. There was no owner of an acting company or a troupe of actors. And for that reason, actors were free agents, um, no real source of connection, no connection, nothing to identify them. So they were masterless. They had no master. That's why they were referred to in that way. Question number 2. In 1559, Queen Elizabeth outlawed or banned all public performances of these plays. These were religious plays. Number 3. What was the name of William Shakespeare's acting company? Lord Chamberlain's Men. Number 4. What was the name of Shakespeare's theater? And describe the design of the theater. The name of the theater, of course, is the Globe. It is a round structure that is open. The roof is open. That lets in all of the sunlight as well as all of the other elements, rain, snow. Um, there is a stage that has a section that comes out into the audience. The stage is covered by a roof, which is also referred to as the heavens. And there is a standing area in front of the stage. It's the ground, literally. And the patrons who paid very little, the least amount probably to get into the theater, uh, stood there. And they were referred to as the groundlings. Number 5. Who played the female characters in Shakespeare's plays? Men. All of the female characters, from Ophelia to Juliet to Lady Macbeth to Cleopatra, were all played by young male apprentices who could, with a lot of help, pass for women. What is a theatrical convention? A theatrical convention is an established practice or um, process that is introduced. And as time goes on, that practice is repeated in plays. And because it was effective the first time it was introduced, it is repeated. It goes throughout theater history. We see it again and again and again. And this can be a variety of things. Take, for example, we just talked about the impact of perspective scenery. Perspective scenery is a theatrical convention, as is something like the soliloquy. We talked about the 7 soliloquies in Hamlet. Um, we also have things like, um, for example, in costuming. We know from experience that if a character wears black, that character, 9 times out of 10, is a bad character, right? So these are theatrical conventions, things that are established, practiced, and from that point forward, they're used again and again, and audiences recognize and understand what they mean and how they are used. Another example is the play within a play. That is a theatrical convention. Uh, uh, Number seven, what was the most expensive element of Shakespeare's production? The costumes. What is the Discovery Space? That is a part of the Globe Theater stage. That was an area on the stage where things were revealed, that where discoveries presented themselves to the audience, something that needed to appear. I thought of something the other day and I wonder if it could have been used for the flower that Prospero sends Ariel to find in A Midsummer Night's Dream, because find the juice, the nectar of that flower, and sprinkle it on the lover's eyes, and when they wake up, the first person they see, they will fall in love with. So I was wondering, maybe that flower might have been a part of that discovery space. Discovery space, that's a part of the Globe Theater stage. Um, and Where discoveries were placed or situated. Number nine, how many plot lines does Hamlet have? We kind of talked about two of them in class. One was the revenge plot that involves Hamlet and Claudius and Hamlet's father's ghost, etc. The other plot line involves Hamlet and his connection with Polonius, Ophelia, and Laertes. Those two plots kind of go simultaneously. Also, another plot that you can plot line you can consider is the looming conflict between Norway and Denmark. We know that young Fortinbras is threatening. All right, what is a play within a play? Basically, a play within a play is a play that is performed as a part of a larger play. And characters from that larger play typically come or are there to watch the play within a play. It's a theatrical device. It is a something that moves the plot along, because if you remember, the climax of Hamlet comes when in Act Three they are gathered to watch this play that this group of actors, friends of Hamlet, come to perform. What we see in that play, or what they see in that play, closely resembles or mirrors the events of King Hamlet's death. The ghost tells Hamlet that while he was sleeping in the orchard, your uncle came and poured poison in my ear. And when Claudius sees this enacted on stage, he responds, he reacts and says, "Stop the show," basically. In doing that, he kind of exposes himself, and Hamlet sees that he is indeed the murderer of his father. That is the climax of the play. So, a play within a play also moves the story forward. It moved this story to the climax of the play. Now, Hamlet's not the only time a play within a play is used in literature. It's used throughout. That's what makes it a theatrical convention. We see it all throughout um, theater. All right, number 11. What is the major theatrical convention that was developed during the Italian Renaissance? That's perspective scenery. Also, the proscenium stage. But those things, the contribution of perspective scenery, is a major one, and it was the creation of the Italians during the Renaissance. Number 12, what does commedia dell'arte mean? Comedy of professional artists. Important to, excuse me, remember that commedia actors were paid. They were, professional in that way. And it was very important, I think, to be established as such. We are professional actors, comedy of professional actors. What are the three categories of stock characters in commedia? Masters, lovers, and servants. Important to remember, the commedia characters were masked. At least all of them were masked except the lovers. Um, so the masters and the servants wore masks, the lovers did not. Number 14, what is the essential element of commedia? The actor. It's not the play because there is no play. All of the performances are improvised and based on a scenario that they come up with. Um, there is no set. And there are certainly costumes and masks, but for the most part, all of the entertainment, all of the spectacle, if you will, is created by the actor. So the essential element of commedia is the actor. What language did the commedia actors speak? It wasn't a language, it was gibberish. There was no language. It wasn't Italian, wasn't French, wasn't German. It was a combination of everything. Gamelon. 16. What are the six principles of the neoclassical ideal? First, all plays had to either be comedy or tragedy. Genre, comedy or tragedy. Second, comedies dealt with peasants, tragedies dealt with royals or upper class, lower class for comedy, upper class for tragedy. Number three talks about the behavior of these characters, decorum. Characters had to behave in ways that were appropriate to their social class. So if a play concerned if it was a comedy, these characters behaved like peasants, lower class citizens, and tragedies, of course, those characters behaved like noblemen or upper class citizens. Number four, all plays had to be written in 5 acts. Number five, all plays had to uphold the unity of time, place, and action. And six, all plays had to uphold poetic justice, or they had to see by the end of the story that good would overcome evil. A French playwright, number 17, asks about Moliere. French playwright of comedy. Possibly his most popular play is Tartuffe. We talked about Tartuffe in class. I think it's very funny. It's a great play, and there is an entire full length production of Tartuffe on YouTube. I think by the National Theater. It's fantastic. So if you get a chance to watch it, do. All right, that brings us to the end of the review. We will have the test in person in class tomorrow, which is March the 6th. Yes, March the 6th. And I will also share the quiz with you Those of you in Theater 206AW online will tomorrow as well. If you have any questions, please email me. I look forward to hearing from you. See you later.